Hello everyone, and welcome to the Mastercam Getting Started training exercise. Before we do get started, just come down to the bottom here and load up your Start menu. Go to All Programs and find Mastercam X9 folder here. Double click it, go to Utilities and open that, and go to Advanced Configuration. Now in here we are going to select backplot and make sure that our classic backplot is disabled, not enabled. For every training tutorial going forward, we are going to use classic backplot disable. So just select OK when done, and that should take you back into Mastercam. So in order for me to explain what everything does, I'm just going to start from the top and work my way down. So up at the very top you have File, Edit, View, Analyze, Create, Solids, all the different menus that you can open in Mastercam. So this is kind of the longer way in order to select a specific application in Mastercam or whatever you're looking to do. So you'll notice that when I'm hovering something, you'll see this icon here and various icons beside, contour or chain. There's an icon beside that. Similarly to any solids, there's icons beside that. So when I close this dialog box, you'll notice that these icons are actually represented right here. And this is actually a shorter way in order to select something. So instead of going to create line endpoint, I could just simply come and select endpoint as it has the same icon. So instead of going create line endpoint, I could just come here and select create line endpoint. So those are all these bars down here. You can actually move these bars around. You can take them off, move them around if you wanted to put them in a different place. This works well because if you're using different applications and you're not using some of the buttons up here, you can actually remove them, put new buttons in. And in order to do that, you just come over to the white space over here, right click, and then you can go to customize and you can customize how you want to see your buttons up at the top. That being said as well, you can right click here on the side and you can load up different applications. So I can load up work space and do 2D, 3D, toolpaths, design, lathe, whatever you're looking to do. This will change the sidebar here. Right now I believe I'm in 2D toolpaths. So you'll see I have my drilling toolpath, my contour, my pocket. But if I were to load up design, you'll see that on the far left hand side that'll actually update it to be more of a solids menu, and this will appear in just 1 second. So as you can see on the side here, it didn't update the drill, contour, or anything like that, but if I were to select load workspace and I were to go to lathe, you'll notice that these will change, these icons on the left hand side here, to match lathe applications. So I'm just going to continue on. You'll notice that there is a toolpaths kind of section here. This will show all the toolpaths that you have once you create your geometry. It'll show you which comes before which toolpath operation. So if I have a facing and then below that I have my roughing and then finishing, it all depends what you have selected down here. You can move your insert arrow in order to kind of dictate where you want to create the next toolpath in your toolpath display, but we'll get into that when we get into training tutorials. Now there's a ribbon bar up along the top here. So when I go into a command like create line endpoint, you'll notice that the ribbon bar becomes active. So each ribbon bar is kind of custom to the application that I'm in. So I am in create line endpoint, and you can see that I'll create a line, and you'll notice that it is on an angle of 0 and it has a distance of 3.7 inches. So I can customize this to make my line bigger, or I can make it smaller. I could put it on a different angle if I wanted to, and then I could solidify it. Now this differs from something like create circle center point, because you'll notice different applications have different ribbon bar parameters to it. So in create circle center point now I have a radius and I have a diameter and I can create a circle as opposed to length and angle for my line. So I'm just going to select OK. You'll notice that on the right hand side here that this is the history of everything that I've just previously done. So I have my create circle center point and create line endpoint, so it'll list everything that I've just been doing. So say I wanted to select a different operation, I select Smart Dimension. Smart Dimension will now be on the right hand side, and if I quickly wanted to go to create line endpoint again, I don't need to go create line endpoint up in this bar here. I could simply just grab these icons and then toggle between my previous operations that I were using in order to grab them. Below my history bar here is something called QM, points, lines, arcs. QM stands for quick mask. So instead of physically selecting all the geometry on my screen, if I have more lines than circles, let's say, I'm just going to make more lines here quick for you guys so you can see this. And I'll make a couple circles so you guys can see this as well. So what Quick Mask does is I come over to the side here, and instead of selecting all the circles and maybe a couple lines, I'm able to just come over here and select Quick Mask Arcs, which will grab all my circles. Quick Mask Lines will either select or deselect all the lines that I currently have on screen. And I have Quick Mask Points if I had any points up here. So it's just a fast way in order to grab certain line arcs, certain colors, certain entities on different levels. Once you get to QM color, you can actually grab only blue objects here. So this is very useful if you have a lot going on your screen. You can quickly just grab that and hit delete on your keyboard if you want it gone. Right here you'll notice that I'm working in inches, so I'm working in imperial as opposed to metric. I'll show you guys how to toggle that if you wanted to use metric measurements as opposed to imperial, but right now I am in imperial because I am using inches, so I'll just show you guys how to update that in just a second here. Along the bottom is our attributes bar, so this determines what level I'm working on. Levels in other CAD packages is known as layers. This will determine what wireframe color I'm using, what solids color I'm using, what surface color I'm using. Determines my plane, so my WCS plane, and my line style, my line width, and just various things like that. So along the bottom here is how I'm actually going to see my entities being created, how I can take them away, bring them back, just different stuff like that. Along the bottom here is solids and toolpaths. So if I wanted to create a toolpath and do my wireframe, it would appear under my toolpaths bar. But if I was working with solids on screen, I would want to toggle to this tab here, and then it would list all the solids commands that I'm doing, so extrude, revolve, anything like that. All the solids commands can be found up top here in the solids menu, so extrude, revolve, sweep, loft, etc., etc. You should have a grid already established here. This dictates where your absolute Z0 is. You can also hit F9 on your keyboard as well if you wanted to make your absolute zero appear that way as well. But I prefer the grid. So in order to establish a grid, and I'll also show you how to change this from inches to metric, just come up to the top here and go to Settings and go to Configuration. Under Settings Configuration, come over to the left hand side. You'll have to hit the plus button on screen and go to Grid Settings. Here you'll make a visible grid and you'll insert your spacing and size. And then if you wanted to change from English to metric, you can do so using this bar. You would just have to select OK. Another convenient thing here is in the colors bar, you are actually able to edit the background color. So if you don't like the gradient color in Mastercam and you just want to make this one solid dark color or a bright color in the back, you can actually change your background color by just adjusting the colors here. So I believe it is background color and background gradient end color, so you can adjust these two and you can make a different startup. So that's kind of a basic overview of everything that you're seeing here in Mastercam. Just play around with it and you guys will get the hang of certain applications. Just play around with different buttons and you'll eventually get the hang of it.